Hmm. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I am up on my new computer, my new laptop, loving it. It's a touch screen and everything, so this is all new to me. It was actually introduced by my son's mom, so I decided to go out and buy one. All right, so it looks like I'm up and running. Took me a while to figure out how to get the camera and the audio going on this thing. So now that it is awesome, but anyways, a few months ago, Teala Curtis decided to attack me out of the blue. She kicked me out of her group after asking me to teach, and the reason for that is because I showed her evidence, physical evidence from the First Amendment, which clearly states what makes a religion. So basically, by doing that on her own forum, on my forum, and most importantly in her group, made her out to be a fool, so she became embarrassed. And she's basically treated me as an enemy ever since. Her friend Caitlin White, also known as Lady Raven, also known as Raven White, she was supposedly, from what I understand, in a relationship with Teala Curtis, aka Petrova, and recently had gone their own way. You know, she basically kicked Teala Curtis to the curb. Basically, good job, Caitlin. I do applaud you for that. And then I got into it with VK Jahannam because he attacked me out of the blue as well. Turns out that being fed misinformation makes one want to apologize. And VK did that because he was fed misinformation by Teala Curtis. And then there was Alfredo Martinez. No one's really seen or heard from him online in a while, since the day he chose to dishonor himself by breaking his word. Okay. And finally, you have Gordon H. Carnes. You know, this guy, he goes through profiles like Grant took Richmond, but on a lot of levels, you got to understand him because of the fact that it's more mental. So, I mean, but he chose to side with Telia, which is okay. I mean, that was his choice. But, anyways, soon after all of this went down, like I said, VK, Jahannam, he apologized to me like a man. You know, he and I, whatever feud we had was done. Because I basically showed him wrong, um, the error of his ways, so to speak. He clearly said he was given false information, which he was, because I turned around and gave him the information of what a satanic rite is in the purpose of raising energy and about the altar systems and stuff like that. So basically, Telia had lied to him. Shocker there. Um, but Caitlin, she took something from Robert Fraze, founder of the Church of Leviathan and founder of the traditional Church of Satan, and they didn't really have a full grasp of what was going on. At the time that Robert Fraze and I were having a little feud, where he basically attacked me through a Google web page, he was basically trying to get my attention about a guy by the name of Joe. What was his last name? Cardoza, I think it was. Founder of the Church of the Tradition. What was it? The Church of Lucifer, I think. Can't remember. I think it was a theistic Church of Lucifer, if I remember correctly. Anyways, after getting into it with me and physically losing the battle, he apologized to me like a man through one of my students. He got in touch with me through my sister and apprentice, my charge, and wanted to make peace. And we ended up sitting down and talking about everything. And he explained he was just trying to get my attention. He even said that he chose the wrong thing because he didn't want to make it personal. It just turned out to be taken that way, which is why I went at him the way I did. So basically, Robert Fraze and I are on good terms, and you know we've been on good terms ever since. But Caitlin White took what he had done and just started spreading it around Facebook and around social media, basically trying to make a name for herself. Now, after figuring out that she was with Teala Curtis, aka Petrova, it all began to make sense. So basically, I had forgiven Caitlin once and let her back into the circle, and she turned around just a few weeks later and betrayed that trust yet again. So basically, it was boot to ass to door at that case, at that point, because you don't get a third chance with me. I will, once you betrayed me once, that's cool. I'll forgive it. But if you betray me twice, you're gone, flat out. So, anyways, then I found out that then I was told, and I even found this out for myself, that she was supposedly married to Teala Curtis. So, or dating her or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is offhand. But the moral of the point is that she was booted out. She was out of my life. We still have a mutual friend, my brother and apprentice, coven member, Brian Snelling. And so I haven't had any dealings with her since. And then I got a message from Alfredo Martinez, who was looking for teachers for his group, Dark Sorceries. So, and he asked me, and I said, sure, I'll share what I can when I can. And I was a pretty active member of that little group at the time. So, anyways, Teala Curtis jumped in and basically blatantly said that she didn't want anything to do with anyone that had anything to do with me, and took about 20% of his group with her when she left. Next thing I know is Teala started spreading this website around, and Alfredo wanted me to clear it up, and once I did, he let me back into the group and everything like that. And he basically broke his word after undeniable proof was given. So nobody's really heard from Alfredo since that time, and that was a good 4 months ago. Now, about a month or two ago, this new girl by the name of Diana Cortez claims to be a psychic, claims to be some form of high priestess, sends both Brian and myself a friend request. So we accept. No biggie there. I've got lots of followers that I don't really talk to on my friends list. They just like my work and they like what I put forth. So I mean that there's nothing wrong with that. So I've never had any dealings with this woman over a 2 month period. Neither's Brian. Yet during this time, we found out that Caitlin White had left Telia behind. Best thing she ever did, because all Telia's going to be doing is taking her down a very dark and desolate road, most likely a dead end road. So that was actually a smart move on Caitlin's viewpoint. So she basically left. Gordon Carnes, who had basically trash talked me to Caitlin, didn't expect me to find out about it, but soon was kicked to the door by Telia. So he learned a very important lesson there. So what's ironic is three of these people that had sided with Teala Curtis, aka Petrova, VK has had nothing to do with her. He and I really don't talk at all. But I have noticed his videos have gotten a lot better. So I mean, kudos to you, VK. Gordon, well, he's still following me from time to time, depending on what profile he has, and has nothing to do with Caitlin, with Telia. And what's ironic is even Caitlin has left Telia in the dust. So basically, her true friendships, are basically dwindling. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. So, anyways, here we are, fast forwarding to present day. Back on, I want to say it was March 27th, I think it was, 26th, 27th area of this year. This Diana Cortez messages me, and you can actually go underneath my Facebook profile and you can literally see this for yourselves because I actually posted on it early this morning, between 1 and 2 a.m. Um, what was interesting about this is that she wanted to talk to both Alfredo and Telia and kind of settle this dispute. And it's like, how can you settle something that's been done for months? You know what I'm saying? I haven't given Telia Curtis a thought, and I don't know how long now. So here we are, the 27th. She's messaged me trying to get me to go back into these little cults. And you notice I use the term cult because that's basically what they are, a cult. Because there's no freedom of thought, there is no freedom of speech, there is no free will. Okay. It is a cult where you are brainwashed into believing false ideologies. So she basically said, I respect that. And that's where we ended it. It was just a quick little conversation. And I haven't talked to her since. I do believe that she's actually commented on a couple of my posts, but I never had a chance to reply because I've been so busy between work, family life, my own studies, my apprentice, teaching my apprentices, running an order, and on top of that, writing my second book. So early this morning, a friend of mine comes to me and he says, "Hey, you got to do something. You should add this Diane Cortez to that curse jar spell." And I asked him, I said, "Why?" And he says, "Because she's trash talking you on Facebook." And I'm like, "So it doesn't matter to me." So, anyways, I asked him. I asked him. I said, "Give me proof." So, sure enough, he sends me proof. So, this was actually the first posting I did on Facebook early this morning, and I even shared it with both Lisa Ramirez, Brian Snelling, even Vovo, or I should say Vovin, rather, a satanic sister of mine and a friend to Brian. You know, she even came up and said, wait, this chick included me in this? What the fuck? Namely, because of the fact that Lisa and Vovin have had no dealings with this woman whatsoever. Okay. Now, Brian tends to talk to her a little bit more than I do. So, but not much because he's like me. We've been wrapped up in the cabal workings for like 6 months now. So, I mean, to have this Diana Cortez sit there and start trash talking us in a single paragraph is kind of humorous to me. Yeah, to us. It kind of makes us, feel special. And as a friend of ours put it, you must be doing something right if these people are attacking you. I said, it's either, I agreed with him because it was either out of jealousy, hatred, you know, perhaps they're just out there trying to make a name for themselves, by trash talking those who have been in the community a long time. Either way, it really doesn't matter to me, because I got a lot of people that know that I don't really get into the whole drama fest. I use psychological warfare and I'll go at you that way, or I will show undeniable proof. Now, in this case, undeniable proof has already been put forth. We know for a fact that Teala Curtis, aka Petrova, is on trial for prostitution. This has been proven through Lisa. Okay. Second of all, we also know for a fact that Teala Curtis and her little organization has committed plagiarization due to stealing Lisa's friend's book, okay, and changing it to fit their needs. This has already been proven. A lot of what Teala Curtis has discussed has already been disproven due to the fact that a friend of mine personally used his own money to do a criminal background check on me and came up with zero, zilch, nothing, nada. So right there should tell you that Teala Curtis is an idiot. But here's the thing. To have this Diana chick literally start bashing us out of nowhere for no reason, and then seeing Telia commenting on it, this explains so much. It shows that she's only trying to get attention because her fan base is dwindling. Her popularity is dwindling, and she can't handle it. And because her life is so dull, she has to go out and attack others. In this case, myself, Vovin, Lisa, and Brian. Now, personally, as I stated earlier, I really don't care what she does because it doesn't affect me one way or the other. But I wanted to do this video to show you that there are individuals out there who will feed you misinformation and lead you to believe things that is not true. But most importantly, to tell you about Diana Cortez. She claims to be a medium, but yet she fails to actually notice that all the proof and evidence has been given already. Because if she was an actual medium or seer or mind reader, whatever that she claims to be, she would know that Teala Curtis is blowing smoke out her ass. Plain and simple. This is why I've always told people, if you're going to preach something, follow the same code I do. I got this code from the BOS when I first started my order back in 2013. I sent out a message to all these orders, and only one got back to me, and it was the Brotherhood out of New York, and they said, and I quote, "Whatever you preach, always back it up. Back it up with physical evidence." And number two, always make yourself available to the public. So when I teach my apprentices, I always try to get them to take that to heart. Now, anybody with a brain who has watched my videos will tell you flat out that when I give a reference to a book or to an author, that author gets the credit. So how can that be plagiarizing? Hmm, interesting. When I quote something from a grimoire, or I talk about an entity that I've worked with, I've always given references so that you can go out and do your own research into that particular field. When I talk about the duality between heaven and hell, that can be traced back all the way to the Dead Sea Scrolls, specifically the scroll of Amran. Okay, you can go out, do a 2-second Google search, boom, right there. But most people will take things at face value, and that is where you get into trouble. That's where you get your panties in a knicker. Okay, a little bit of a twist, because instead of learning for yourselves, you're taking things at face value. All these individuals who have had dealings with Teala Curtis have learned that the hard way, and they've come back and apologized to me like adults. Same thing with Brian. Okay. I don't lead people down a desolate road. I arm you with that information. I give you the references, the knowledge, and the wisdom to go along with it. What you do with it is up to you. As for Diana's claims that I tell people how to live their lives or how to be a Satanist, that is a bull-faced lie right there. Watch my videos on Journey into Satanism right here on YouTube. I've shared them to Facebook as well, to numerous groups, and to my main feed. You'll see where I do not tell people how to live their lives as a Satanist. I show you what a Satanist is and is not. What you do with it is up to you. Plain and simple. So with all this evidence that is on my side, why do people keep believing this bullshit lies by Teala Curtis? Perhaps it's just because people need drama and chaos in their lives because they don't have anything better to do. Who knows? A sorcerer once said, get away from the adversities, get away from the divisions, and delve into the sorceries. Plain and simple. Delve into the sorceries. I believe that was Frank White that said that. And Marcus, on the other hand, from the Cabal, basically forged himself into a sorcerer. He delved into the sorceries and started learning for himself. So therefore, this guy has a lot of weight behind it. As for me, like Marcus, I didn't take things at face value when I first started out 28 years ago. I did everything the hard way. I learned. I spent thousands of dollars on books, thousands of dollars and on my personal libraries. I've gone out and spent I don't know how many hours at the library, or I should say libraries, because I've been on both sides of this country. I've done a lot of traveling, a lot of studying. I've done radio shows, and most importantly, I've done lectures. What have you done, Talia, but to prove yourself to be a fake, a liar, and a con artist who's literally hiding from a gang because you them off? You've pissed off so many people that you have to keep changing your name. Oh, and by the way, I'm not the one on trial for prostitution. That's you. So have fun, Telia. Now, like I said, go underneath my Facebook, go underneath the photos. You'll see all the evidence between all these people and myself. It's right there. My profile's open. My life is an open book. So have fun. That's the end of this video. Until next time.